In the studio, we have the Scripple boss himself, Gospelondebeatz. Thank you for having us in the studio. We are just about to talk about amazing stuff, things that I feel a lot of people should know from he himself, because he's been in the industry for a long time and he knows so many things that I myself have not even heard. So let's tap in from the wisdom well and get a lot of things sorted. Without wasting much time, make sure you turn on post notification and subscribe, because it's about to be a movie. So you've had a lot of experience with both upcoming and top dogs in the industry. What do you feel like the process is like? Is there any difference in their recording styles or techniques?
Yeah, there are a lot of differences between how the established artists record and the up and coming or the unknown artists.
Yeah.
And this has a lot to do with development of skill.
Okay.
So the top artists or the very established artists, they've mastered their craft.
Yeah.
They've developed themselves. They understand their sound. And if you're very aware of your sound and you understand it to a very, very large extent, that will inform, and it will inform your decision of, number one, the type of producers to work with. It will inform your decision of certain technical steps to take when it comes to recording, the type of microphone you use, like I said, the type of mix and mastering engineer that you would allow to mix your record, especially your voice. Some artists even know that some artists have precepts, in terms of how they want their vocals to sound. And also another thing I would say about the established artists is that most of them are producers themselves. Now, when I say producers, I'm not coming from the aspect of them actually knowing how to create beats. Because there's a big difference between a beat maker and a producer.
Wow.
So most of these artists are producers themselves, and that's because they have a very deep understanding of how they want the beat to be. So they know the type of beats that inspire them. They know the type of sounds that inspire them. They have an idea and they can almost explain to the beat maker or the music producer how to go about creating and bringing to life what they have in their head. They can communicate their ideas in terms that the music producer or the beat maker will be able to understand. So it's more or less like they've developed themselves to that point where they can be in any room with any established or well-experienced music producer or beat makers or musicians, and be able to speak the language of music production in the way that every other creative in the room will be able to help them interpret what they have in their mind. So basically it's just a thing of development and developing their skill.
Amazing. Like I never thought of it like that, but mostly I see producers saying upcoming artists get wahala. They have wahala.
Okay, I think let me speak to that as well. So now I just spoke about the creative aspect, of being but you see, when it comes to the reason why some producers feel like upcoming artists have a lot of wahala. It's because some of them have it in their head. But they lack the ability to communicate to the producer now that they want to work with. So they have the sound in their head, but they don't know how to communicate it. Exactly. So when I work with upcoming artists in that way, the first thing I say to them is, send me 5 songs that inspire you, references.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, we're not going to copy and paste what you're sending. However, I need to listen to what sounds, send me something that sounds very close to the idea you have in mind. So that way I'll be able to understand to a very large extent what you want to do or the kind of music you want to create.
Amazing. Like, producers, take notes, because honestly I feel like a lot of us that are like producers that have not really gone too far into the music industry, we always feel like, if somebody is an upcoming, there's this stereotyping saying like, this guy, he go give me stress, so let me avoid him a little. And then with the A-list I work with, I figured, like you said, they have templates, presets, they even join in the production process. They tell you, no, put this one here, I want my auto-tune key to be this and that. Wow, this is a good, clear explanation of what I wanted to know. But then there's another question again that I've always been popping up on my feed. They ask, is promotion about money or connection? What do you have to say about that? Is it money-wise? Do you think like if I have 10 billion, I'm going to be famous? Or do I need to know people, like network? Can money buy me promotional value, like in a large context?
Okay, I would say that it takes a bit of both, actually.
Okay.
You know, so because marketing involves money.
Okay.
You need a budget.
Yeah,
There's
true.
no fixed budget to music promotion.
Okay.
To be honest.
That's
There's
a tagline.
Yeah, there's no fixed budget. Now, also, you need a plan. At least a plan. Be flexible
Okay.
as you go along, but you need a plan. You don't just, it's like going into the market without a list of what you want to purchase.
Yeah.
But then you have money. But you just say, you know what, when I get into the market, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, you realize that you end up buying a lot of things you don't need.
Facts.
So for music promotion, first you need a plan and a strategy. Then of course the budget to back up that strategy, because the music artist, an artist with a definite plan and strategy, with a very with a low budget,
Yeah.
stands the chance of actually getting more results than the one with a lot of money and no plan and strategy.
That's deep.
So when you talk about connection now, like they say, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
So the thing you need to ask yourself as an artist or artist manager or as a team trying to push out a project is to say, okay, let's have a plan. Now, this plan, I would say, don't limit yourself. Think big. Plan as though you have all the money in the world.
Wow.
And that is the truth. Plan as though there's an unlimited, resources sitting somewhere, to execute whatever plan that you have. So plan that way. And let me also break it down. When I say plan that way, is to first of all visualize. If everything goes well, like all things being equal, what does success mean to you as regards this project?
True.
Like, if they say this project is successful, now to you, what does that mean? Exactly. What are the milestones? What are the results or rewards you want to see for you to now agree that this project is a success? Because success is relative to individuals and, to all of us. Okay. So if for you, the song does 1 million streams across all digital platforms, if that's what success means to you, then that's great. Write it there.
Exactly.
So first of all, I would say, before you draw your plan and strategy, draw up your goal and your vision for that project. Define what success means to you as regards that project. And this is not just you. So if you have team members that you work with, now I would always advise, come up with a questionnaire.
Okay.
So as an artist, fill yours, send the questionnaire to your manager without sending your own answers or expectations or goals to him.
Okay.
Let him feel his. What does success mean to him from a manager's point of view towards this project? Then send to every other person, on the team, including producers, now brand manager, like even down to your content, manager or photographer. Like, just do it. Then you collate everything. Then you now put a big vision board. Okay. Like a big, take everything and make it one big vision or goals for that project. Okay. Then once you've done that, the next thing is now planning and strategy. And when it comes to planning and strategy, start from the list item and you move up. Okay. So it's like saying, what's the least that we need to achieve? Say worst case scenario. The
little very minimum.
Yes, amongst these goals that we can do, then draw it up that way. So when you make your plan that way, you will be able to now track success, because success is actually not a destination. It's the gradual achievement of set goals. So back to the goals again. So it's in the journey. So as you're ticking, as you're moving, you're ticking, as the days are going by, weeks are going by, months are going by, you are able to tick and say, okay, we've achieved this, we've achieved it, we've achieved it.
And in a year or two, you'll just be everywhere.
Exactly. Then let me talk about the budget. So once you start with identifying the goals and now you drop a plan and strategy, then when it comes to the budget, first ask yourself, understanding that people's currency is very key.
Yeah.
Like I said, your network determines your net worth. So ask yourself, what are the things that money can pay for and what are the things relationship will pay for?
Facts.
You need to outline. It needs to be part of your budget plan.
Okay.
So, and you tell yourself, oh, for this, I know this person in this radio station. Okay, I don't need to pay.
Yeah.
You tick it. I know somebody in this field. I don't need to pay. And also, okay, sometimes it will be, oh, I have the value or I have a particular value I can exchange with this person. So I don't necessarily have to pay.
Okay. Yeah. Actually.
So I'll go and trade by barter and say, you know what, I can do this for you, do this, this is what I need from you. So you need to be able to outline all of that. And not just as an artist. Ask your other team members, what are the value sets you have that we can exchange for what we need on our plan?
Okay.
So once you've outlined all of those now, these are the things that you don't necessarily need money to, but you have the relationship and network to sort it out.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is, okay, what are the things that we must spend on right now?
Okay.
At least in the next 1 month. Because sometimes you really don't need 100 million at a go.
Actually, I always say that.
Because even if you have the 100 million sitting in an account, you don't need to execute or use all of them in the first month.
True. I agree. 1000%.
Exactly. So really, if you sit down and check, once you outline all of that, then you just start with what you have, where you are, then with your plan, which is the roadmap.
Yeah.
So I think.
Wow. I mean, like A&Rs, producers, artists. From what you just said now, what I'm getting is, without money, there is no like active plan. No. Without plan, money will just be a total waste of time. Wow. Because like I've seen scenarios where artists come up with saying, okay, you know what, I have 100 million. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, the money will just finish. No relationships used, nothing. It just goes boom. And then in that scenario whereby we have an artist that does not have budget, but has a vision and does not have a team, what do you think? Because I see artists that shoot, edit, cut, trim, they do everything themselves. Do you have any like much more simplified life hack for them? Would you say like they should just find a team, or what do you think? What's the hack for them?
So personally, this is what I think. In as much as it is great to use the principle of do it yourself, but I think that should also have an expiry date. Because at the end of the day, as an artist, you really want to just focus on being an artist. Because if you look at these successful artists that we all admire, right? Yes, most of them, you know, might have started, you know, the journey by just doing it, everything, you know, but they got to a point where they now started to put a team together. So as an artist, you need to learn how to sell your vision to potential team members.
Exactly. Wow.
That should be like you should master the art of being a salesperson, but for yourself now.
Okay. And
your talent, your career, you know, too. So I meet you and I'm like, bro, this is what I've done so far. I've done X, Y, Z. You know, I've improved myself. I've put out, you know, this number of singles. And this is what I've been able to do by myself. That's a way an upcoming artist or an unknown artist will approach you and let you in on the type of deep work they've done. You'll be moved to jump on that moving train. You know why? Because a lot of people are not necessarily looking for the now money. A lot of artist managers here now, brand managers, and people that can potentially be part of your team, they're not looking for the now money. Most of them are looking for the artists with vision. And not just vision, the artists that will back that vision with the type of work that is needed. You know, so when they find that person, they will jump without necessarily asking for any pay right now. They will invest their time, sometimes even their money, because they know that as long as you guys continue with this momentum, it's just a matter of time. The project will get to a point where you can pay everybody.
Exactly.
You know, so as an artist, I would say try and sell yourself, but do the work first, because that's what you're coming to the table with when you meet somebody that you want to believe in you enough to jump on your team with when you don't have the money to pay them.
Facts. So yeah, basically what you are just saying in a nutshell is that as an artist, you're also an entrepreneur, and you should like work on yourself personally, then you can like expand, get a team and investor at the end of it. Man, this is totally like, how should I say, this is a $1 billion advisor tip. And I can see here we shouldn't forget the fact that there's an amazing book here, Journey to Mainstream. Can you tell us like what's the inspiration behind it? You know, not every producer or executive will have this concept of saying, you know what, let's try and get all the ideas we have over the years into one masterpiece. What's the inspiration and what's the book about? Give us a hint.
Okay, yeah, you know, the entertainment, or let me narrow it down to the music industry within Africa, right?
Yeah.
It's been an amazing one. And for me in particular, I've had an amazing journey, right? It's been about 20 years or if not more.
Wow, 20? Oh my God.
You know, so there were a lot of mistakes I made. You know, that if I had a book like this when I started, those mistakes would have been avoided, or at least minimized to a very, very large extent. You know, so I got to a point in my career, and this was like 5 years ago, when I realized that there's a generation coming after us. Yeah. That some of them have been privileged to be close to, work with them, and mentor them. Yeah. And the type of questions they ask me. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, these questions are like mind blowing, and I'm like, for you to even ask this type of question, it means that you are aware of your purpose and where you want to go. But then you're looking for the how to get there. So I now said, okay, if I have these very few people that I know one-on-one asking me this type of questions, okay, what happens to the millions of people out there, you know, that also have the same experiences and, you know, are going through this? And I said, you know what, I'm not saying I've achieved a whole lot compared to where I really want to push this to. Exactly. However, I have a bit of, you know, experience in certain areas. I can say, you know what, just maybe take a look at some of the principles I've been able to learn, you know, growing in my own career, you know, certain mistakes I made, also certain things I learned out of research. Yeah. Because when you become a student of life, you realize that learning never stops within the four walls of a classroom. Exactly. Do you get? So so being a student of life is that daily commitment to learning and developing yourself. And I said, okay, all of these that I'm doing, put it together, of course, networking with other great minds and mentors of mine that also pour into me. I say, you know what, why not put a book together just outlining the principles of success, you know, within the entertainment industry, using my life as an example and my experience as well, you know, and also using the experiences and also lives of people that have been privileged to work with closely that are already successful. Exactly. You know, so this book does not teach you how to produce. Okay. It doesn't teach you how to write a song. It focuses more on becoming successful as a creative. And when I say becoming successful as a creative, is like the name implies, journey to mainstream. So that means how to move from where you are to where you want to be. What does mainstream look like to you? Mainstream also stands for success, greatness. So what does it look like to you? And I'm saying journey to that place that looks like success to you. Apply these principles, adding it to what you already know or what you're going to learn in the future, and just make it easy for you. Wow.
I mean, like, you know, the truth is, from what you said, when I started, I felt like, okay, there were things I did not know. I was always confused. You know, in Nigeria as a whole, like in the whole world, there are artists that have not been to a place like Lagos. So for somebody like you giving us like a blueprint of what it should feel like, because I can see here there's bad deals, debt, betrayal, and a lot of stuff. I know a lot of people will be really excited to have this. Just like I said, guys, there are copies here for you especially. I'm going to be reading this. I'm very honored to have a copy of this. But here's one thing that I'm sure will trigger a lot of people to say, okay, let's ask this question. You said something about like the mistakes you made. Can you like give us a hint of things that we should be looking forward to escaping as an artist, let's say as a musician, as a producer? What do you think are like mistakes that you keep seeing over and over again? People falling trap of it, like making mistake over, and it keeps just regenerating. What do you think we should be escaping?
Okay, so one of it I would say is understanding the business of your talent. It's called showbiz for a reason.
Okay.
It's the show part, which is the creative part, and there's the business part. You know, so if you don't pay attention to understanding how the business works, you realize that you get to a point where you will be frustrated. Then passion will no longer be enough to sustain you.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, passion, yes, sustains, but then you need the guaps, you know, to be able to keep passion going, you know.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of money problems in terms of mismanagement of funds.
Okay.
Because really, when it comes to money, it's really not about how much you earn, but how well you manage
what you
earn. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we as creatives, we also we fall prey of this let's say dilemma or stigma where fast money is coming.
Yeah.
As a producer, you know you're going to get the next production job.
Exactly.
So let me even start from the list. Let's say you produce at 50,000 per track.
Okay.
Right. Now that 50K comes in, poop, you blow it. Right? Because you know, and you're correct.
Yeah.
You know another 50K
is coming.
And it will come. You get. But then you get to a point that, yeah, it grows from 50 to 100 to 200. And as your income keeps growing, your lifestyle is also
keeps expanding.
You know, cost of living, standard of living, everything is shooting up. And to be honest, you now start to live a lifestyle that you cannot afford. And when I say you cannot afford, doesn't mean you don't have the money to pay for it.
Exactly. No, okay.
You have the money to pay for it, but doesn't mean you can afford it. So money comes in, the way it's coming in, you're going, before you know you're living above your means.
Yeah.
Then you now get to a point where a great idea comes to you. It could be anything, or let's even say a project.
Okay.
Now you want to run a project, you're not looking for investors. Meanwhile, you could have just been the investor of your own project.
Wow.
If you were saving and managing your finances the way it should be. Because sometimes when they say you don't necessarily have to save for rainy days alone, yeah, that's part of it. But you also save for that idea that God is going to give to you in the next 2 years.
True. Wow.
That nobody will believe in it enough to want to take the chance on you by investing.
Wow.
But you know you have the capital saved up already, that at least you can start and bring it to a level where it can now attract other
people
investors.
to just join. Wow.
So yeah.
Wow, this thing you say, like, I've been a victim of it. And let me not lie, right now, I say people don't think about, you know what I was expecting you to say. You now said another part where a lot of people will not expect. People don't take accountability for their own accounting. Yeah. They feel like, okay, money comes, money goes. There's no saving for stuff. And come to think of it, this thing you say just opened my eye to something. Taking like money from other investors when you can invest in your own stuff is like a gem. This is a gem. And I'm sure reading through these pages, just like the tip of the iceberg you just gave us, I'm going to find a lot of gems right here. And tackling that answer, I want to ask one question that I know a lot of people will be like, oh, okay, let me not just answer this one. What are your criteria for signing an artist? Do you feel like if you want to sign an artist, what do you think will be a hindrance, and what do you think should be the criteria for you to say, okay, this artist is worth signing? Come, I want to give you money, I want to pimp you up and just dish you out to the world. What's your criteria for that?
Well, apart from talent,
Yeah.
because that should not be anything we should negotiate. And when it comes to talent, there are two, sides to a talented person.
Okay.
So, from a music executive standpoint, I can look at somebody that is really talented, right, musically, and go like, if I sign you, how long do I need to develop you?
True.
To a point where your talent would be, let's use the word ripe.
Okay.
For
money to
return,
start coming in. Yeah.
And when I say develop you, it's not just your voice now, it's everything. Your brand.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get it.
Okay.
So how to look the part, sound the part, not just sing the part. Sound it when you have to talk.
Okay.
When you get on an interview, how to talk, what to say, understanding your brand, yourself, and the agenda and the movement, how you relate with your audience, how to build a community and interact with them. All of these things are skills that can be developed, so I can decide to say, what, do I want to go for somebody that I would do the work with, which most times that's how I like to do it, or do I want to just, sign someone that is already
doing stuff for themselves,
established, and at that point I look at it as partnership. Where we come together and just say, what, you've worked to this point, you've developed yourself to this point. Yes, development never stops, but at least you've got to a point where we can almost monetize what we're doing together. So I think I look at it from both angles and decide.
Wow. And then the development phase, somebody asked me one time on Instagram, what is artist development? Not everyone knows that before you get into a label, you need to be developed. You said something about like how you brand yourself, how you talk the music, how you make every stuff. Do you have like a list of things we should be looking forward to for people that want to develop themselves as an artist? Okay,
so first things first, I would say, as an artist, your primary aspect of development, or say your priority, should be the music, the creative.
Okay.
Like you need to be so good that nobody ignores when they hear your music.
Exactly.
Like that's the type of development. Like till you get there, don't stop. And even when you get there, don't stop. Like be so good. Like have you not heard, a song plays and the first thing you go is that, who's the producer? Now that's because of how the beat makes you feel.
Exactly.
Right? Now, or you listen to the artist and you're like, who's the artist? Who's singing? That's also because of how the artist's voice or delivery or how they record, like how it makes you feel. I don't know if you get So and so for me, it's the first focus on developing your skill music wise. Know the music.
Okay.
If you need to learn an instrument, learn an instrument. If you don't, another 5 years will still meet you by God's grace. Right? And imagine if you had been learning, you would have just been 5 years into, learning one instrument that will aid your life performance, that will add more value to your brand as an artist.
True.
You will earn more respect. Because trust me, the fans and everybody respects an artist that plays instrument because they feel like this person has, because it takes some level of work to be able to play an instrument and be very good at it as an artist. But if you say you don't want to go the route of learning an instrument, at least that one way now you the whole land, which is the singing, recording, writing songs, great. Develop it. So what? Then for the business aspect, just learn on the go. Learn something new every day about the music business. Even if it's an hour every day, make it a habit. Then you realize that in 1 month, in 2 months, in 1 year,
so many stuff.
you have so many, So for me, those are like the major thing I would say for as an artist.
Wow. I mean, like this is a clear example of work before you chop. Like most people don't like doing the work. I see artists telling me stuff like, I can sing, why is nobody coming my way? And I feel most times it's because the investors and top dogs, they look at them with the eye of, this person is not really prepared, it's not ready. You can sing, yes, but your brand is not looking like it's not looking fit enough for the kind of standard we are looking for. So this is like a clear example of vision board and trying to be a creative person. So let me just ask this question now. Do you have like this one life hack that have saved you a lot, that if you share it with somebody, automatically their life changes? That's the hack I want now. Like, let us know that hack. Me personally, I need it, and everybody watching this video, they definitely need that one hack. Give us the Gospel on the Beat sauce, something that is extra. Everybody should know it. Can you give us that one gem?
Yeah, this might sound cliche, but
Okay.
that is the truth.
Okay.
The God factor.
Okay.
Right? And when I say the God factor, this is not, I'm not coming from a religious standpoint. I'm coming from a standpoint of knowing who you are, right? And understanding that you were born and created first with a purpose and sent to the entertainment industry where you find yourself. And to you, you feel like, oh, I started singing by mistake, or I just dabbled into it. No, it has been orchestrated, rather. It's been orchestrated from the beginning. You know, so your consciousness and awareness of that would always keep you going, because you will know that we have a Father or a God or a Creator that truly loves us and is merciful, and He has sent us into the entertainment industry and has empowered us with everything we need. And guess what? Everything we need is not, you know, external.
Yeah.
It's within.
Okay.
So that hack now is tapping into that consciousness of, I am a creator. Like, it's not just that I create music. I not only create music, but I can create my experience and my situations. That even if I get it wrong, I can create an outlet out of that problem.
Wow.
It's all in the mind. So I've been able to a very large extent master my mind. Like, see, that's one thing that you cannot take away from me. And that was because I became conscious from a very early stage, thanks to my mom and my parents, my dad, you know.
Wow.
I became conscious of the fact that I can do anything I put my mind to. It might be difficult. Yes, it might be challenging, but
it's possible.
It's possible.
Everything is possible.
So when we say believe in yourself, it's not just a motivational statement. It's something that is actually is a verb.
Yeah.
Having faith, believing in yourself is actually an action statement where you take the corresponding action, believing that it will work for you. And if it doesn't work, you know what I always ask myself? Then what am I supposed to learn from it that will make it work when next I try?
Exactly.
So most times what we see as mistakes and challenges are only opportunities for us to learn how not to do it, and also gather all the information so that when the opportunity comes again, we're well equipped.
Exactly.
So that hack is faith. Believing in yourself and believing in the person that created you and sent you into this world and placed you within the entertainment industry. And understanding that everything you need to succeed has been provided. Just check within yourself. You'll find it.
It's inside. Like, just staying there. You yourself, you are like an embodiment of art.
Yes.
God installed everything in you. Wow.
Yeah, you're a creator as well. God is a creator. You're also a creator. But it's just that a lot of people limit their being creators to making music.
Oh, true. It's way beyond that.
It's way beyond that. It's the life hack, bro.
Wow. I've had so many life-changing like words here. I'm taking notes right after this video is being made, where I'm going to sit down, rewrite some of the things I've heard today and learned. But before we go, I have this one question that it's like a little bit controversial. Everybody keeps saying like, there's this war online of people saying the Afrobeat community in particular, they keep saying things like the new Rema rave sound versus the Amapiano sound is going to fade out, There's so many controversy going on around people saying, if you bring this style, the other one is going to fall off. What do you think the future of Afrobeat is looking like? Do you have any speculations? Do you have any future insight, a foresight, or what you think is going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years?
Personally, I believe that the future of Afrobeat is just within our eyesight, like we can see it.
Yeah.
You know why I say we can see it is because you cannot box music. You cannot box creativity.
True.
Then you cannot even box someone's creativity that believes that would take over the world.
True.
I don't know if you get my point.
Yeah.
Like an artist somewhere that is working hard. The artist has discovered his or her purpose and is putting in the work, right? And believes that someday this genre that he or she is making will become the #1 genre in the world.
True.
I promise you, don't doubt that person.
True.
It's just a matter of time. Do you get?
Yeah.
So when we compare, or I see fans comparing this sound with this fan saying Afrobeat will fail, let me tell you, who created Afrobeat? I'm asking you.
Afrobeat. Everybody says it's like, from what I've learned, it's Fela.
Good.
It's attributed to great Fela.
Good. Let me tell you something. Do you know, musically, you cannot create out of nothing?
True. Little elements here and there.
Even down to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Yeah.
You don't own it. You were born and you came to meet it.
True.
And you use it to create and make music.
True.
But now the creator in you now decides to combine it in a way that you now gave it your own name. Because it's been so successful and so excellent to the point that people want to know what you call it. So just so that they can be able to call it that same thing that you're calling it. They just want to put a definition to it.
Exactly.
And you go, oh, it's Afrobeat. Then a group of people come together and say, you know what? Okay, this one is Afrobeat. Big shout out to the legend, Fela.
Yeah.
Then now, okay, these other people are infusing other genres into this Afrobeat sound. So what do we call it? Then I say, oh, it's Afrobeats with the S. Right?
Yeah.
Then, of course, another person comes in and say, oh, Afro pop, Afro soul, Afro fusion, Afro reggae, Afro swing.
Wow.
But let me tell you, somebody can come and say, you know what, I just don't want to call it Afro because I think that what I'm creating
is way beyond.
Right, not necessarily way bigger than Afro, but it is different from Afro. And I feel like this is the name I want to call it.
Wow.
And trust me, because that person believes in it well enough and is ready to put in the work, it now becomes a transgenerational sound over time. Then guess what? 20, 30, 50 years from now, a generation comes up and now starts to remix the name and the sound. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like, first things first, Afrobeat is expandable.
True.
Hence why it is where it is now.
True.
Because of the fusion and the different, mixes we've been able to bring into the original Afrobeats from Fela.
Oh, wow.
So since it has the potential to be expandable, that means it can still go beyond where it is.
Exactly. Wow.
So have I answered your question now?
100%. Like the evolution. Look, guys, I'm baffled. I don't even know what to say, but all I'm going to say is thank you very much. Guys, this is Gospel on the Beat. Like, trust me, everything he have said is expandable. Like, it's something that you need to check, keep looking and giving yourself affirmation of there's more to where it's coming from. So I would advise you check out his Instagram, his TikTok. He's really doing an amazing job. Honestly, like the contents you make, a lot of people keep commenting and saying stuff like, yo, this changed my life. And it looks a little bit, let's say, how should I put it? It's so realistically real that sometimes if you feel down, you just go, you see a Gospel on the Beat post, you'll be like, oh my God, this is happening to me. So I want to say a big thank you on behalf of the community, and for this amazing piece of art, I want to say congratulations. And for those of you that are going to be getting this, I'll make sure he signs it before I leave, so you are going to get a signed copy. Any hint on how we can get this subsequently? Is there like a way we can purchase online?
Well, currently it's on Amazon.
Okay.
And also, if you want to stream, it's on Kindle. You can go there and read. But we're currently working on ways we can be able to distribute locally. And as soon as we finalize on that plan, we'll definitely let everybody know.
Amazing. Guys, I'm dropping the Kindle stuff in the link in the description. Just check the link in the description to grab a copy of this, and you'll never remain the same. Until next time, guys, make sure you follow, subscribe, turn on post notification, and grab a copy of this. More info about how you can get your copy dropping soon. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Gospel. Really appreciate